Hi, and welcome into yet another video. So today we will be seeing how AWS S3 can serve our static content. So we will hop into our to-do list, which is a very basic Next.JS project. We will build it as a static content and then upload it to S3 and serve this as a website. So let's hop into the VS Code and AWS console and work on that. All right, welcome back after a short break. So we are right now in Visual Studio Code, and we have our app here, which is a very basic Next.js application with a very basic to-do. Maybe let's run it and let's see how it looks like. Let's just wait a moment for it to build. Yeah, and we just have a to-do. So let's say build app, and another one deploy to S3. So these are our to-dos for today, and let's see how we want to approach it. So let's go to the Next.js page because I want to show you something. So here there is something called static export, if I am right. Yeah, so static export, let's make it a little bit bigger. So static export, to do it in the Next 14, so actually it is a matter of version. We will be using this approach, so we will go to Next.config.js and do a output on export, but somewhere down in the bottom there is this version history, because before Next.js 14 actually you could run a function like a CLI command next export, and it was doing the same way. But this is right now deprecated, and as you will see here, our next version is 14, so we will be using this modification to the config itself. So let's do it and then talk some more details. Let's go to this next config, and here in the config we will just copy and paste that. So right now, what is the difference and what is not usable here? So if we will scroll this documentation a little bit, you will see that there are some unsupported features due to the fact that actually it cannot be done in a static way, but there needs to be a backend, like a node process, which is working, and that makes sense, let's say, for a middleware or for some APIs, and as along with image optimization. But actually image optimization can be done on a different basis. If you would like to see more about it, we can use some kind of a third-party solutions here, so we can optimize the images. But yeah, that is the list that you cannot actually use if you would like to serve 100% static content. Okay, so let's go and run our npm run build. It will take a little bit, and it will create a static production build, and we will have an out directory here, which will have our content. Yeah, and as you can see here, we have our out folder, and it has a basic index HTML 404. There are some static chunks and so on here generated. So let's go right now to S3 in our AWS and create ourselves a very basic bucket. All right, so let's create ourselves a very basic bucket, and maybe let's call it briefly to-do list. I will enable ACLs because we will make the permissions for public. I will unblock the public access. Today we will do it in this way, but in other videos I will show you also how we can do it using private S3, origin access control, and CloudFront distribution. And right now the rest will be the same. Let's create this bucket and let's upload our files to it. So we will click just upload, and I will just take everything from the out folder and drop it here. So we see we have this index.html, 404, and some other stuff, generally 23 files and folders. So let's make the permissions. We will do grant public read access. I understand the risk. And let's click upload. It will take a moment for all the files to be uploaded. And after all of that being done, let's get back to our bucket. Let's go to actions here, no, to actions. Let's go to properties here. And here, almost at the bottom, we will have static website hosting. So this is an offering from AWS on S3 services. Let's click edit here, and the configuration will be very straightforward. So we just need to enable it. We will host a static website, and index document, we are just need to point here to our point of entry. Error is optional, I won't be using that. And let's just click Save Changes. And if we will scroll at the end, we will see that the static hosting was enabled. It's a bucket hosting, and we are getting our bucket website endpoint that we can use. We would be able also to attach the domain here, but that's a topic for other video. So let's navigate to that. And hey, we can see that under this briefly to-do list, S3 website, and so on, we have our application hosted, and it's a public one. So we can do deploy Next.JS to-do list. We can use it, we can work on that, we can delete it, add it. So this is the very simple idea about hosting a static content using AWS. And actually, as it is S3, it is quite cheap because we don't actually maintain any infrastructure, servers, or whatever. No, even Node.js process is not running. It's a fully static generated content. We can also host it using CloudFront, be in front of this S3, but that's, as I mentioned, for other topic. And you can see that it will scale quite nicely because it's S3 and it can take quite a nice amount of traffic. So that will be all for today. If you would like such content and new such content, please of course subscribe to the channel. And if you would like to see me making a video on a particular subject, let me know down in the comments. And for today, that's all. So see ya in another one.